You're an ambitious high schooler who wants to make it into the Ivy League. Prove to everybody else that you have what it takes to get to the top, but you're struggling to come up with solid essay ideas to even start. These past 4 years of grueling work culminates in this single application, and you don't want to mess this up. This essay that you're about to write could be the reason you get into the Ivy League and live the life of your dreams, but it could also be the reason you fail to reach the heights you've dreamed of for so long. I'm here to tell you the same exact system I used for my essays and got into multiple top 20 schools for CS as an Asian male. And if you stick to the end, you'll learn the common mistakes that most students make when trying to write their college essay that ultimately gets them rejected from their dream schools. This is also the same system our team of Ivy League consultants teach at Inspirate Consulting, and our track record of successfully guiding our students into every single Ivy League school speaks for itself. But before I get to the system that helps you come up with more essay ideas than you know what to do with, we first have to go through the basics. Whenever you try to think of ideas and try to get those ideas onto paper, sometimes you feel this invisible barrier that obstructs the free flow of thoughts and ideas. It leaves you feeling stuck and frustrated. This is what's called writer's block. To avoid such hindrances and basically nerves, if you will, you simply have to take whatever the hell is in here to here. Now, I know this is a simplified version of reality, but it really is that simple. Perfectionism is the enemy of progress, and to fight perfectionism is to literally brain dump onto that piece of paper. Brain dumping does these 3 things. It gives you a free flow of ideas, reduces cognitive load, and builds momentum. So let's talk about the first thing it does, the free flow of ideas. Whenever you brain dump your ideas onto a piece of paper, it facilitates the free flow of ideas without the constraints of structure or coherence, which can lead to unexpected connections and innovative thoughts. You don't have to worry about making mistakes when writing because, well, it's just a brain dump. It's not your final essay or anything like that. An exercise that you could literally do right now to try this is to set a quick 15-minute timer and to simply write. During this time, you never go back to fix grammar or spelling mistakes or punctuation because the goal isn't to make a coherent essay, but to just keep your fingers typing, letting whatever comes to mind spill onto the page. The second thing that brain dumping does is reduce your cognitive load. There's only so much information and ideas that you can have stored up in there, so offloading thoughts onto paper reduces the cognitive load that you already have. This frees up mental resources to actually explore creative and new ideas. A cluttered mind only leads to overwhelm, which is a big trigger for writer's block for many students. So reduce your cognitive load by brain dumping your ideas onto paper. Now, building momentum. This is the third and I would say the most important thing that brain dumping does for you. When you start the writing process, even imperfectly, it can create momentum and help you overcome this writer's block you're struggling with. If you push on knowing that you don't have to make it, make sense just yet, knowing that it doesn't have to be good in the beginning, because why the hell would it be good if it's your first time writing college essays, then it starts to build this momentum that eventually keeps you writing more and more. Before you know it, you'll probably have a page or 2 of straight ideas that you can simply fix and move around to make it flow a little better, make it more creative. Now, finally onto the system that I use to get into multiple top 20 schools for CS, as well as getting our consulting students to all Ivy Leagues. I'll go over the 3-step process very quickly so I can actually explain why this is so effective in the first place. The first step of this process is to write down 3 essay ideas for whatever essay prompt you've been wanting to work on, just 3. You simply write them down on a piece of paper or a Google Doc. I personally just type them out on my iPhone Notes app. Step 2 is to leave it be and sleep on it, and I'm not joking. Some people are nervous to share their essay ideas to other people because they're worried they might embarrass themselves or expose sides of themselves that they don't want other people to see. When you sleep on the idea in step 2, you're able to have a refreshed perspective on your original idea. It's kind of like coming back to your old essays back in middle school or early high school and being like, oh, I can't believe I wrote that. Step 3 is the final but also the most important step of this whole process. It's to revisit those 3 ideas you wrote down the other night and to simply cross out any that you just don't like. Think it's too cringy? Cross it out. Don't like the vibe of the idea? Cross it out. If you do this for the next 3 days, you're guaranteed to come down to a single idea that speaks to you without having to risk embarrassing yourself to other people. Now, I say do this for 3 days, but if you're still not satisfied, you could obviously, just do it for longer. But now that we got through how to use the system, let's talk about why you should use this system. There are 3 things that happen when you use the system. First is hindsight bias, critical reflection, and then incubation effect. Hindsight bias is when you look back at your idea with new information or simply a different mindset, which can make your original idea less appealing or well thought out. This could be because you weren't really thinking properly the night before, or just because you are trying to force yourself to come up with ideas. In the moment, it sounds like a good essay idea, but later on, it sounds goofy. Step 2 focuses on critical reflection. Critical reflection is when you get the mental space to critically reflect on something, often leading to a more objective assessment after you have some time away from that same idea. The last thing this system does is encourage the incubation effect. During your sleep or a break, your subconscious mind continues to process ideas, which can lead to new insights or a different evaluation when you revisit that same idea. When you write your ideas down, however, keep in mind that it shouldn't be a quick little, I'll just write about my soccer team or something. No, these ideas should be pretty fleshed out with a good idea of where the trajectory of this essay will go. How are you going to begin the essay? Which characters will be in the storyline? What problem will you be facing? How will you show qualities instead of just saying them? What will the storyline be like? These are the questions that you need to know the answer to when writing your ideas down, or else the system won't really get you anywhere. Now, before I tell you about the common mistake that most students make when writing their college essay, comment the word dedication to show that you made it this far into the video, and I'll try my best to respond to every single one of you guys. Also, fill out the quick questionnaire with the link below if you're interested in our selective consulting program. Now, let's get on with the video. Lots of top tier students, even those who are incredibly good at writing essays, struggle with this concept of sticking to one storyline. I know you're an impressive student. You have many awards and achievements that you want to let the admissions officers know of. But if you're writing about different storylines within the same essay, just for the sake of mentioning every single achievement, you're doing it wrong. To add on to this, using different storylines to show more examples of when you use the same skill is simply a waste of word count. If you take the Common App essay prompt, for example, it has a total of 650 words. And honestly, that's not that much. You'll find yourself cutting down your essay a lot. And if you have to do that on top of having different storylines, it's impossible to write a cohesive and well-flowing essay that captivate the admissions officers. Your essay idea doesn't have to be this novel and grand idea that no one's ever heard about. You don't have to write about solving cancer. Your focus should be more on the flow of the storyline and showing your character development, not just simply telling them. If I see any essays from you guys that reads, I've gained leadership through this club that I was involved in, I'm actually just gonna delete my channel. So none of that. Please. Show, don't tell. If this video helped, let me know in the comments. If you hated it, also let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.